And hello everyone, and welcome back to the Spearhead cast with me, Matt. Hopefully you are enjoying these. We're gonna know on here 4v4 actually. On Launch Assault, I think this one is called. We'll go through the players first, yeah? On the Allied side, we have Pi as the United States of America, and he has already gone for Rifle Company. Followed by Agent Badger, who's already gone for Tank Destroyer Company. Ooh. And we have BH-18 playing as the Royal Guard Regiment with Anvil Tactics. And we have Eugene playing as the Ranger Company. And on the Axis side, we have Aldok as the Wehrmacht Panzer Division. We have Muru as the Wehrmacht Luftwaffe Division. And we have the Tajic as the Wehrmacht Infanterie Division. And we have something in Russian I cannot pronounce as Waffen-SS Propaganda Tactics. This should be very fascinating. Looks like we're gonna have an early engagement down here, with the Americans trying to sort of inconvenience that point. We also have engagements happening over here at the main road area. Now, Launch Assault is a very interesting 4v4 map. A lot of the battles tend to happen around here, but there's this very fancy castle you can fight it with infantry in. I think that position could become important in this. Well, it looks like we have Pi fighting down here against Aldok. Then over here in the center, we have Tadic against Agent Badger. And well, we had the Rangers slowly moving up here. Taking their time, evidently. The British are now moving up to support Agent Badger. We have Royal Guard for Silius. Because he went Anvil with Royal Guards, he gets one extra man in his rifle sections, which can be a really big deal. One extra man can really change the outcome of the battle. At this range too, I think the Pioneers might have the advantage. It also looks like there tries to be some kind of flanking maneuver here by the Volks Grenadiers. Oh no, they're barricading off the castle. They're very smart. And while we have Grenadiers from Tadic here, and we got some Luftwaffe Pioneers coming in.
Pioneers ready for assignment.
I think we're gonna have a little bit of a heavy engagement at this little town. The Storm Grenadiers of let's call them CK, yeah. The Volks Grenadiers of CK has set up in Volks Grenadiers. The Storm Grenadiers set up in that building. Oh, that's a grenade from BH. Ooh, and that was a pretty damn good one too at that. You used the Mills bombs, a very powerful grenade. And it looks like the Americans are still fighting over this point here. Firing over long ranges. Looks like Aldok has not gone for any actual infantry. He's just using Pioneers and he's going straight for an MG42 to put inside the structure, I believe. Looks like the German infantry is moving up in a blob, which is generally not a good idea. We have the Sturm Grenadiers and Volkssturm engaging over here. And while the Americans are moving up with a BAR here. That is a dead Sturm Pioneer squad. He's not going to get away out of there alive unless he's lucky. Which he could be. Oh! I just saw a grenade. Oh, that's a terrible loss. Oh, they lost the Sturm Pioneer and a Volkssturm almost got killed. And that's an MG08 inside that building. Very interesting. You have an MG42 now coming up for the Wehrmacht here to cover the center. This will generally lock it down for them. Yeah, so they're gonna have a very hard time dealing with this. Luftwaffe is engaging the 20th Infantry Division. Americans have no way of getting into the castle currently, but he's getting up re-echelon to cut the wires, I assume. He's got blue and grey, and he's actually arming them with carbines by the looks of it. They want carbines, yeah. Let's see how this turns out for them, shall we?
Ready for orders.
Well, the Pioneers are still fighting down here. Now, the real play I got was called Tanks. Tanks everywhere. So I get the feeling this is going to turn into a very heavy tank engagement later on. In fact, the British already have a Bren carrier. And the Americans have cut the wires, so now they can move into the town. And indeed, the Germans have set up an MG42 to cover this point. But it looks like the Americans are going to be able to take the castle. An MG42 from the Fallschirmjägers setting up here. A lot of heavy machine gun fire is going to be in this area, making it very hard for the Allies to push up. This open area is going to be a death field for any allies trying to push up. But with the castle, they control a lot of territory. They can even flank down from the castle if they need to. Looks like the Fajimigas with some Volksgrenadier support is trying to hold here. But and they're already inconveniencing that American Jeep. Looks like the British are preparing for a brain carrier push though. This one is getting a big cascade, so you can provide heavy anti-infantry support.
Ready to set up a new forward base.
But MG42 has been armed with armor-piercing bullets, which has already immobilized it.
The ability is ready.
It's not good for the marine carrier. That might be the end of it. If a few more shots come in that might penetrate it, it might be dead. Yep. Oh, good shot by the American mortar. Very good job. Providing support for each other. Even throwing a smoke grenade by some time. Anyway, it looks like the Volksturm are trying to push up here against an American Ranger demolition team. This two-man team might not do well unless they're behind cover like that. The Volksturm are generally not very good, but they're cheap. But all this MG42 fire should be very hard for them to deal with. We have the Americans setting up at the castle and firing. Oh, but that, oh! The grenade got stuck on the wall. Oh, that sucks. Now it's up to the blue and grey. Can they hold against these Volksgrenadiers and pioneers coming into the castle? Looks like they found a BAR they might make use of. Oh, and the Germans are going to suffer from the same. Oh! Germans almost did the same. Yeah, the castle seems to have a lot of blockers. Yeah, they're even talking about it. So far, it looks like the Germans have the center here got really well covered, but no one has taken the munitions point yet. The castle, however, being in the American hands is a big deal, I think. The southern flank is going to be very quiet, I assume. But it looks like Aldog is already going for Panzer Grenadiers to be his mainstay in infantry. He skipped on normal Volksgrenadiers and Grenadiers entirely, and he's going straight for Panzer Grenadiers. He's going for a very elite force then. But the south here is going to be very hard to push up through. He's even laying precautionary mines, Regal mines by looks of it. So he is preparing. And it's getting ready to the American 30 cal. They're going to throw the big Baldeladnung just in time. Oof! Just even destroyed the sandbags. And that's going to force the Americans to pull back. And well, we have a lot of engagements going on around the roads here again. So many MG42s. You know, some Fallschirmjägers now. But these are some very elite infantry. They already been armed with FT42s. 2 pairs of them, in fact. That's going to make this squad very lethal at all ranges. The Americans have the advantage at this close range here in the castle. Mowing down the Luftwaffe engineers. They might have another engagement here, but the Americans are running for the BAR by looks of it. Well, that's not a BAR, that's a 30 cal! Even more reason they wanted. And that grenade did not stick on the wall, at least. Looks like the Americans are trying to sneak up with a recon team. If they get too close, they'll still be spotted, though. Using that little bush there for cover. Well, now the Americans have set up a fighting position here. Propaganda division is just holding up at the town there. Not much is going on yet. Looks like most of the fighting is going to be here or in the castle. And the Luftwaffe are doing a big push to take the castle back. They've already overrun it with infantry. Because the Americans already evacuated. Just where I'm at. Yeah, it looks like they evacuated their troops. The castle is going to be firmly entrenched in the Luftwaffe's hands, I imagine. Luftwaffe are very good in close quarters engagements. Like the Germans are just taking in, setting up sandbags behind the wall here. Oh, but yes, I do have the advantage here because of the carbines, but barely.
We are suffering losses.
But we also have the Panzer Grenadiers moving through the castle now. Here comes the Americans' blue and gray infantry. These guys are generally low quality, but they can do well in close quarters combat with their carbines. Like we see here. Immediately throwing a grenade. Good job. Those folks grenadiers on trouble.
C51 trucks.
He's come! We just got promoted!
Get more of an engagement ascender here by the looks of it.
New unit ready.
The Americans' Ranger Division is trying to push up here. They're waiting. Gotta keep an eye on all the things that's going on here. Panzer Grenadiers moving into the castle again. They're meant to fight the Americans in there. Looks like the Germans are setting up a bit of a strong point at the edge of town here. Serve as a frontline base. And where the Raiders are keeping the Germans pinned down inside this wooden firing position. And the grenade is going to be the end of them. Oh yeah. Those Rangers mowed them down. Storm Grenadiers are not good. Actually, if they can get in a good position here, they can mow them down in the open. They have the MG42 after all. Need to see, but there's a fight in the town again. Looks like smoke has been popped in. Yeah, looks like it might have been Blindkorb or some of the Panzer Grenadiers. Oh, the Rangers might actually have this because of the Thompsons.
Combat unit ready for action.
Gonna be very close. You have a little bit of a tight fight here. That's the Panzer Grenadiers should be armed with some automatic weaponry. They did push them up with the grenade assaults. The Fallschirmjägers are holding center here for the Germans. The American front line is steadily getting bigger and bigger, I assume. And look at this position here. The Germans are digging in heavily, using the grenadiers to their advantage. Armed with LMG-42s with 100 rounds each. That is a very good defensive unit. We also have Jaegers coming in now. Not sure what the Pioneers are attempting here. It's out in the open here against the blue and grey. They might actually be able to mow them down. But a Gewaldeladung is going to be enough to break through, I think. Like so. Getting close enough to the American mortar too. But the Americans are firmly entrenched in this area. We have the Brenker if the British moving up again. There's a big escated advantage. We also have a half-track with Rangers coming through the town here. Yes, this is using they use the rifle grenade, they don't have a Panzerfaust yet. But the Panzertrack is coming up. Oh, but he's not moving too close, he's moving too close! Oh, but it worked! That's a risky play. That's a very risky play. As the Rangers want to kill the mortar though. James to set up an MG42 in the church. And they have a good avenue on fire, and he's Irish Guardsman. Germans are steadily setting up a good defensive line here. Americans have retaken the castle. Americans are redigging in on the south. They might be planning to take this and assault the building. But German Panzer Grenadiers are moving up again, although they are lacking in proper equipment. Oh, they have a small pack inside the building as well. This is a really entrenched building.
The Sturmgeschütz is ready for use.
The German infantry division is pushing up through the graveyard. Getting closer to the British lines, and the British have a Stuart, however, which is prompting the Germans to fall back. Perhaps he's loading an AT shell in the church. It's going to hit. Looks like he didn't hit. Big shame. Oh, we have some Mthis Panzer Grenadier veterans here. It's going to allow the SS to hold the north here a lot easier against all the Rangers. Any German attempt to take the castle now is going to be futile, I think. Now the Americans just have to take the southern part. But now there's a Stuk A coming up. A Stuk A, actually, my bad. Oh, and the Panzer Grenadiers are being armed with STGs, MP44s. This will make them a lot better at assaulting and in medium close range.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture
points. Meanwhile, it looks like the Rangers are slowly trying to creep up through the town here. And it'll be working as well as intended. The veterans are now opening fire on the building. Well, the Stuk A is going to be a little bit more of an issue for the Americans, I wager. Probably taking out all the defenses here. But we have an artillery strike coming in from the American lieutenant. Looks like he's using a 81mm mortar barrage. What's happening over here? The steward is holding the center. Americans are still holding the castle. We have another Stug A coming in. Top of Stug A is going to be a lot of anti-infantry capabilities, which is very definitely what he's attempting to do. He's even using Allen with a Panzer officer instead of an MG. Now, that 50 cal is not going to be big enough. Oh, that's devastating. Important the Panzer Grenadiers. The Stugs are going to be able to push up really well. Oh yeah, they took out the 50 cal in one shot there. Yeah, the Americans are not going to be able to hold this position for long. Now we have a little bit of a standstill up here at the north. Still a little bit of a fighting going on in the center, but most of the fighting going on in the south right now. Oh, but the bazooka missed. Oh, that could be a death sentence. The Germans are slowly pushing up with those Stugs. Panzer Grenadiers in trouble though. Oh, they're taking out the building as well with them slowly. But an 80 gun is coming up for the Americans. 57mm. They have a steward as well. So we have a lot of an engagement down here. Oh, good shot. Throwing the main gun in the Stug. It's going to force the retreat. Meanwhile, the Wehrmacht infantry is trying to push in through the center here, threatening the British. Well, that's another machine gun fire. The British are going to be able to hold still, I think, because they have a guard division. It will be costly though. They're taking a lot of MG fire in this little area.
Infantry section wiped out.
And the British are taking heavy losses, and this Wehrmacht mortar is doing a very good job supporting the infantry. Well, we have a little bit of a lull up in the north in front again. The MG-08 is moving out the building. We have the engagement continuing in the south. And here the MGO is going to get ambushed by the Rangers. Oh, it actually got away. Lucky. We have a Panzer IV-H coming in for the Germans. I'll allow them to punch through the center here if they're lucky. Also have a Rakettenwerfer, I think. Meanwhile, on the southern front, the Stugs are still fighting, using the high explosives to their advantage, and the Panzer Grenadier support. I don't think the Americans are going to do well here at the south. Oh, another good shot, but the Stug killed them.
They got wiped out.
We have the H still threatening in the center here. Oh, we have two H's from the Luftwaffe. Looks like the Luftwaffe has some support from the Hermann Göring division. Americans might be able to hold the south for long in this raid. Yeah, after all taking heavy losses to those two. Ooh! Another good shot.
Just lost a unit.
The Stug is threatening the Americans really heavily. Panzer IV is allowing the Luftwaffe to push up here. The division has gotten an A2 though.
Sherman ready to go.
A2 Sherman might be able to do something in the center here. The two Panzer IVs working in unison is going to be a threat. Keeping them in close conjunction with one another is a really good tactic. But here comes Sherman, going to try and go for a flank maneuver. But a Panzer IV-J command tank has arrived from the infantry division. Oh, it didn't penetrate. The Germans have to be wary. One good shot from a Sherman is still good enough. But that's a suicidal move with the Sherman right there. It's going to allow all the Panzer IVs to focus it. But I got a good shot. Ooh, this could go either way. Sherman's driver is probably still wounded. He's trying to load a smoke shell, but it's too late. Meanwhile, in the south, the Germans are still pushing up relentlessly with the Stugs. destroying the American infantry. But an M10 tank destroyer has arrived. It's going to probably be enough to take on the Stooks if it gets a good shot in. Oh, but it missed. Come on. One good shot there. Another miss. God damn it. Not going well for the Americans here. And while an assault barrage is going on in the fields. The Allies on the back foot. But this M10 might still be a threat to the Stooks. The Germans are just trying to set up a position here. He's even using it as an artillery piece. Oh, good shot! The Americans are taking heavy losses in the southern flank. The British are not doing well here. Rangers are still holding their part of the town though. Even got the Scot. Germans have been able to repair the Panzer IV-H. Looks like the Americans are going to try and make a conjoined push here again. Using the M10 to their advantage. They can threaten these Stooks with ease, or just ignite one. Well, another shot will kill it. Oh, but it didn't penetrate. Oh, penetrating shot from the Stook. Oh, the Stook is down. Oh, that's going to give the American Infantry Division some more time to work with. Especially as an A2 has arrived. You can arm the A2 with high explosive shells if he hasn't already.
Rear echelon troops on the front line.
That'll help them push up now that the Germans are out of the tanks. However, I think the Panzer Division is getting a Tiger. Yes. No, that's not a Tiger. Am I looking at the wrong player? I am. He is getting a Tiger. Okay, this is going to be a very heavy engagement this south then. The British are desperately trying to hold here, as the Luftwaffe pushes up with tank support. The Panzer Grenadiers are trying to get close. However, the Panzer Grenadiers is they only have Panzerknackers. They literally have to get up to the tank to plant the bombs on the enemy tanks to destroy them. They have to just hold on until the Tiger arrives, but it might be too late by that point. The Americans are now pushing up. They've been bombing the house. The Germans have to do a full retreat to the south, I think. They're going to be able to hold. Yeah, full retreat has been ordered. But the Regal mine destroyed the tank.
We have lost a pack gun.
With that, the Americans have pushed for the southern flank. Germans will be looking at Panzer IV-H to cover. We have a Panzer IV-J coming for the SS. We have a Flammpanzerwagen coming from the SS up here. They might be trying to see if they can burn out the ranges. Problem is the 50 cal is going to be able to penetrate it. Ooh. Yeah, the 50 cal emplacement there is doing a really good job. But it's going to be taken out, I think. Because the infantry division is pushing up with their own tanks. But soon the Tiger tank has arrived, and that will allow the Panzer Division to push southwards again, I'd imagine. The Infantry Division is pushing up heavily on the ranges, but the bazooka ambushes are working so far, slowing them down. Stuka is coming in here to bomb this place. Even destroying one house with the shockwave. Luftwaffe is relocating some troops to the south to support. Good job with the Panzer IV-H there. Several A2 supported by... Oh, that's a Fallschirmjäger squad dead instantly. That's gonna hurt. But now the Tiger has arrived. Yeah, too much fires coming in on this Panzer IV. It's not gonna get out of there, I think. Oh yeah, the M10 got it.
One of our panzers has been destroyed.
And while the British is trying to make a push again for the center here, but into the Luftwaffe's defense is not going to work. And while the Germans are pulling in some kind of assault artillery here, I've got a big southern push coming. The Germans are coming over with the two Panzer IV-Hs and the Tiger. This should be a lot of firepower to deal with the Americans by actually being able to push through all of this. At least if the Tiger and the Panzer Force coordinate well. Yeah, we have white phosphorus coming in the center here. Let's keep an eye on this southern tank engagement about to happen. There's going to be a big engagement. Oh yeah, already good job there. The Tiger's flanking around here, the Panzer Force take the main road. Very smart. Panzer Grenadiers are supporting. They need to avoid getting too close to the Americans though. Panzer Force are pulling back slightly. You have the Vanguard Infantry trying to make a push on the town now. Pushing their US Rangers back heavily. Supported by the SS Panzers and the Flammpanzerwagen. That Sherman might not be able to do much. Yeah, getting a shot from the Tiger. Even getting a penetrating shot on the Tiger that did little. Americans are pulling down some covering fire from the castle, but it's not going to be able to do much. Tiger took surprising amount of damage. It's going to give the Allies some time. But the Americans are not doing well. Ranger Division has lost everything. He only has 2 Shermans. That is a really... He has a lot of manpower though. He should get some infantry now to replace them. BH is doing well with his units preservation. Tank Destroyer is doing okay. Infantry Division has lost a lot of loss, but he's fighting a lot. Panzer Division is doing okay. Luftwaffe is doing pretty good. Infantry is doing good. And the SS is also doing fairly good. Looks like Ranger has to step up. Yeah, we're gonna have a heavy engagement here. The Germans could just push across the front now and they would be able to destroy the Allies, I think. Ranger Division has nothing.
Send your orders.
Eugene needs to get some more infantry out, some Rangers or something. For them to cover the front line more, because the Infantry Division is just taking the town now, building by building. They're slowly pushing up on the Allies. Circling. Meanwhile, we have what looks like another engagement about to happen down here. Well, this is going to be a heavy tank engagement. Americans are calling in some kind of artillery strike here. I'm not sure what. Looks like heat fire for effect, which is going to threaten all these tanks if they stay. Especially that Tiger. He needs to pull that Tiger back, right? It's going to be lost. Ooh, yeah, it's immobilized. That is a death sentence for that Tiger. And there goes the Tiger tank. And now that's allowing the Allies to push up again. Meanwhile, the SS is slowly creeping up, using the Volkssturm machine gun away to take this building. We have a Stu-42 here, pounding at the Allied lines. Not that there's much of them right there. The British have mostly moved up here by the looks of it. Aldog is gonna need to get something else. He might be planning for the King Tiger instead. Which I would not suggest. I would suggest he get a Panther instead currently, so he can support a little bit more efficiently. Meanwhile, the American infantry is pushing up again, getting away to the Panzer IV-Hs. Panzer IV-Hs is actually doing a pretty good job here holding. But the 76mm Sherman is doing a good job against this Panzer IV. While the SS is slowly creeping up again. Eugene barely has anything. He actually is full on manpower. He should spend some of it. Well, it looks like the Luftwaffe is trying to slowly take the castle again. Throwing a not a Gabaldano, just a grenade by the looks of it. Oh, looks like the... Oh, he's arming the Panzer Grenadiers with Panzer Strikes as well. Very good decision, but not a good against American armor. American tanks are really good at anti-infantry. As you can see. Luftwaffe are taking the castle again handily. Also have an artillery piece from the Infantry Division supporting the Allies down here. We actually have 2 howitzers going up within fortified emplacements. Very nice. Very good to see. Now we have a fight going on for the castle here. The Fallschirmjägers up there have a very good vantage point. Oh. Yeah, the Allies are not doing too well. We have another Panzer IV-H. Actually, yeah, we have the Infantry Division now coming out to support with their Panzers. Looks like we have a big Panzer engagement going to be happening here. Looks like indeed Aldog is going for the King Tiger. A very expensive buy that could backfire and be a waste of resources.
What are your orders?
Yes, as are slowly pushing up. Didn't even catch it to the scout.
Boys,
Looks like Eugene is finally getting some troops. He really needs to get that earlier. Ah, we have a Churchill now for the British. Looks like a Churchill crocodile. This could potentially threaten the center, but the Rakettenwerfer could be able to penetrate it. Let's keep an eye on what the Churchill here does. It all comes down to this thing. If that thing can hit, they can penetrate. Oh, it didn't penetrate! Ooh.
Our brave infantry is dying.
If he can take out that Rakettenwerfer, the British can move on. Oh, but I got a penetrating shot. He just keeps moving forward instead. Oh, but a flanking shot from the Rakettenwerfer killed it. It looks like we have an artillery barrage going on down here. Or what's going to happen down there? We have another heat barrage in this area. The Germans are moving out of it.
We are losing a
And we have
sector.
German air superiority going on. Which is weird, because the Germans really did not have much air superiority. Not at this point in the war. Eugene is definitely still not doing too well. He needs to get some more replacements. Looks like the Americans are taking the castle again. Those Fashimiegas are in a good position. Almost that grenade might threaten that. Oh, that is a deadly position. And that's an elite squad dead. Ooh. But the Germans are preparing for a big panzer push here. They're pulling everything into the center.
Our soldiers are trained to advance.
With Jaeger support as well. Are they going to prepare a full-on push? A King Tiger has arrived here from Aldog. Probably going to allow him to take the southern flank with ease. Looks like the SS are also just moving up here, with Stux and Panzer Force. I do not see the Allies doing too well in this one. This King Tiger. Let us see what happens. This King Tiger might... Ooh. Oh, a miss! Ooh. That's a lucky Sherman. The thing is, how far is he gonna go move up with it? He needs more troops to support it though. While the other Axis factions are building up. We have a Jumbo now from the Ranged Division. It might help them, give them a little bit of ground. Ooh, some White Thrusters coming in here. And he's being very conservative with it. He's even falling back and laying mines. Being very smart in the aspect. And even scavenging bricks. Ooh, that's deadly. Now who's gonna push first is the question. The hill looks to firmly be in American hands again. Even set up a 30 cal up here. That Panzer Force trying to threaten them. But the SS might be doing the first move. Just checking up with the Storm Pioneer here. Looks like the King Tiger is moving again. Panzer Force are moving. Oh, the Germans are moving up with the tanks in the center. Now this is a lot of armor. But the British have set up a little bit of a fortified front here. But that is a lot of cannons. And the infantry are pushing in heavily. Well, the aircraft coming in too, bombing the British front line. And they're also calling in the Stuka right here. And looks like the Germans are pushing up here with the other tanks. But the EC-8 is stopping them so far. Not EC-8, Jumbo, my bad. Oh, but they got immobilized. Oh, no, that's not good. Those small British AT guns are actually doing a good job keeping the Germans at bay.
Unfortunately, we've lost a unit.
But with all these sheer amount of tanks here from the Germans, they might be able to push through. They're destroying all the Shermans that are coming up with ease. Meanwhile, we have an engagement here in the south. Looks like the Germans, the Americans might try and take out the King Tiger. The King Tiger has the advantage here. That's another heat barrage though. If the King Tiger doesn't get out of there, it's dead. And the heat shields are coming in. Already set in the building aflame. The King Tiger got out of there. Meanwhile, the Germans are still pushing up heavily on the center here. And the Panther's now right for the Germans too. Ooh, I do not see the Allies coming out of this one. Yeah, these anti-tank teams are not doing too well out in the open. But that bazooka did hit. Looking at all these vehicles here. Yeah, the British are losing everything.
The gun is not crude, not anymore.
There's just too much here. And the Americans are just entrenched in the castle here, not able to do much to support. Could technically try and move down here to flank, but at this time it might be too late.
Looks like we're getting into the excitement.
And just blobbing up ranges like that's not gonna work. The Germans are just pulling up so well here with the Panzer Force, providing a very good supporting fire from each other. And the Jaegers are moving up too, supporting them. We have a 76 flanking though. It's going to be in Panzerfaust range. They did take out a Panzer IV though.
The enemy has destroyed a Panzer.
Also have an M10 coming up. Germany should still be wary. The Allies could still turn this around suddenly. All it takes is one good flank or push. Yeah, like that with the M10. Good job there. But moving up on this is not a good position. Actually, those tanks are very weakened. Good job on that 76. Looks like the Panzer Division is relocating to the center. Not sure that is wise, but he did mine the front line here. Slow any Allied advance. The Germans are heavily focusing here. Oh, that's not good. That 76 is in trouble. We have an artillery barrage going into the center here. That small AT gun is still doing a really good job. And now we have the King Tiger here in the center as well. And he's just mining the entire front line here, mining the flank. That's a very good move. A very common German strategy. Oh, the Panther is moving up with a high explosive shell. Oh, but did it kill something? Not sure. Oh, M10 moving up, that's not a good position. Oh yeah, you should not move it up like that. The M10 is not able to fight frontally like that.
A medium tank
Aha!
just lost.
And I always see the advantage of mining the flank. It stops the Allies dead in their tracks as they try to move up. This is gonna allow the Germans to form up to do one big push in the center, I think. Especially with that Tiger 2. Panther and all the Panzer Force. They have all the tools they need. They even have a Tiger is coming in from the SS. Here comes the German tank push. And here they come. That is a lot of tanks. That is a lot of German armor coming in. I see why they call the tanks everywhere. Look at this, they're even doing blitzkrieg now. The German tanks moving in. Oh yeah, I think the Germans have this. I don't see the Allies coming out of this one. Even calling in Stuka here. Oh yeah, the Allies are done for.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
So many German tanks. And here's a heat barrage coming in. The Germans don't move.
Just lost a unit.
Oh yeah, the King Tiger is being hit. I think it's stuck. Yeah, it's immobilized. The King Tiger might be dead. As long as the allies can get sight on it. Anyway, we have a tank going into the castle. The Americans have lost so much down here.
Our infantry can now rush into
Germans have just got so many tanks. They are pulling everything to repair the King Tiger as well. The Allies have no way of stopping all this. This is way too much firepower in one area. I don't see the Allies having any way of stopping this.
We just lost a medium tank.
Especially with all the artillery coming in as well. They might be trying to force a cutoff to happen. And now the Tiger is moving in from the north. I think the Allies have no way of countering all these German tanks. They should have gotten more AT or some heavy AT. The Germans did very smart by building up their tank forces like this. Then mining their flank here was a really good move. But the sheer amount of armor here from the Germans is too much. You have 105, which I do not think is going to be enough. Good job dealing with the Jaegers, though. Oh, here comes the Panzer IV move again. Oh, a good shot from the 76. Oh, and an artillery strike from the 105 Sherman. That's not doing much. Meanwhile, the SS is pushing up. Well, the Luftwaffe are trying to take the castle again, but the 5th Division is still firmly entrenched in the castle.
Tank support is here.
That's not gonna matter if they get surrounded in there.
Tank ready.
We have more Shermans coming up, more 76 Shermans,
Send your orders.
which is probably the Allies' last final counter they have. But it's not gonna be enough. The Germans are still just getting more. Like, we have a second Panther coming in now for the Panzer Division. This is too much firepower for the Allies to deal with. Here comes the next wave of Panzer Force. This is just too much. Looks like that 105 got a good shot that just caused immobilization though. Well, the Germans don't give a shit, they're just preparing to push. They can end this now if they want.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
Are they actually using a Salter in the base? That shouldn't be possible. As far as I know. And yes, the Allies surrendered. That was a really good push from the Germans here. Really well coordinated with all the tanks, but the sheer amount of firepower they could bring on the Allies here was just too much. And a nice looking fight into the castle, and also down here. A lot of good back and forth down here south that I really enjoyed. And I hope you did too. This has been Matt with the Spearhead cast, and I'll see you all in the next one, everyone. Bye bye!